morning, everybody. Johnny B. Good here, located in Mount Crawford, Virginia. I spent the night here at the Exxon and Burger King parking lot. Alright, I am going to Arlington, Texas. I got loaded last night at about, I don't know, I think it was around 11. By the time I got loaded, I only had 41 minutes available to drive. So obviously I just went to bed. Alright, the place that I am going to is 3300 East Park Road Drive, Arlington, Texas. Arlington, Texas is 1,210 miles from here by way of 81 South, 40 West, the 30 South, and a bunch of other little roads after that. Delivery appointment is Sunday, which is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at noon. Holy smokies. By the way, this load was not scheduled to pick up until 9 a.m. today, which is right now. So today is Saturday, September 16th. Saturday, September 16th, 2017. I had the weirdest dream last night. Figure of speech, but it was weird. I dreamt that my wife shaved off all my eyebrows, and the dandiest thing, I couldn't do a thing about it. Oh boy! See, how does that even? How does it even come to mind in a dream? It's not like I've been thinking about it, you know. It never even crossed my mind, yet I dreamt it. I don't know why. I was watching this YouTube video of Pastor Steven Anderson, and he had an unfortunate experience of going through one of those Arizona Border Patrol checkpoint, which is nowhere near the border, and a lot of people think that it's unconstitutional. So he stood his ground. He expressed that it is illegal and he will not obey their command. Blah blah blah. A couple of hours later, couple hours later, they decide that they're going to breach into his car and take him to custody. They even warned him to cover his eyes because they're going to break both windows. So he did. And next thing you know, he's being tased from that side, and he's also being tased from this side at one time. All at the same time. Twice. All at the same time. So he's screaming in pain. They dragged him out of the car, put him in the ground. All said and done, he's got a couple of stitches. He's all bleeded up. Supposedly afterwards, they laughed at him, they mocked at him and said, why, if you could just have followed our command, you would have been gone. Oh, but that's not what I'm really getting at. What gets me is, let's just say, even if he was wrong, which, by the way, after months and months of court hearing, they found him not guilty. They had all kinds of lawyers, and so he was found not guilty. But my question really is, why is it that the police and law enforcement responds to such violent response to? They did not need to tase him or bang his head against his car and that particular video anyway. I mean, I know every situation is different. I could imagine that cops are humans and they have their emotion, but man, the level of violence and brute force that they inflict on him was just incredible. Look up the video of Pastor Stephen Anderson. It's quite of a lengthy video, but you can see the short end of it, or short version of it. So anyway, before the trial, right? After he gets tased, gets taken to the hospital, gets his stitches. A couple of days or weeks later, the prosecutor sends him all the list of evidence which he will use against him. I guess it was months later that he went to court. So here's the thing that just gets me. There were a couple of things that the prosecutor added to the list as evidence. Was the preaching that he did at his church about the tribulation and the Antichrist, and why another video clip I think is that why he hates what President-elect Barack Obama is doing. So, and the question is, what's that got to do with his religious belief? Got to do with the incident when he crossed the checkpoint. I know that us normal human being can't understand that, but for some reason, to the minds of lawyers, that's just really weird. All right, here's another question for you. This is first I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a bar story, right? 5 guys went to a bar. They ordered their drinks. One particular guy within the group stares at the bartender from a distance for about 5 minutes. Five minutes later, he offers the group a bet for $1,000 that he can make the bartender lick a dash of salt from the palm of his hand. The 4 guys that was with him thought he was crazy. Why would anybody do that? He says, well, I'm willing to bet $1,000 that I can make him lick the salt out of my hand. So they took it. So he approaches the bartender and offers him $500 to lick the salt out of his hand. Bartender said, okay, that's all I got to do. You got it. So he won $500. Business. At the point of that story is this is where I'm getting at. Here's a scenario for you. A guy approaches you and says, hey, I want you to deliver this van loaded with a contraband. Don't look, don't peek, just don't ask any questions. I'll give you $5 million to deliver this to this address. Well, he's a law-abiding citizen. So later he turns himself in. He goes into the police station and he says, I'd like to report a crime and I'd like to surrender. The police says, okay, what did you do? He says, I was hired by somebody whom I did not see his face. I did not know him. to deliver this vehicle somewhere for a certain amount of money. So the question is, can a cop charge him? Let's just say he took pictures of the contraband. Let's just say the van was full of cocaine. He took pictures or videos and detailed even the money, everything. He takes that $5 million that was paid to him. He puts it in a secret bank account where nobody can find it. Then he turns himself in. Can the police prosecute him without the evidence? It's just pictures. But really, the question that I am aiming to do is, how much money are you willing to go to jail for? Let's just say you went to prison for 5 years. That's $1 million a year to sit in prison for 5 years. That's certainly more money that you and I can make in a lifetime. The way I look at it is, whatever we do, it's work. Oh, I don't know. Would you be willing to go to prison for 5 years for $5 million bucks? Just wondering. Alright, well, that's all the JBG brain I could come up with. As always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.